Senior night is successful. Vanderbilt wins 88-80. We are reacting, and also we are live and got a special guest.
You are Locked On Vandy, your daily podcast on the Vanderbilt Commodores, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition, a live edition of the Locked On Vandy podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network in the world. Thank you for making Locked On Vandy your first listen. Thank you for joining. I'm your host, and with me is Mike Huseman. We are live. Vanderbilt takes down UGA 88-80 on senior night. What a win. Vanderbilt needed that in the worst way possible. Losers of 3 out of the last 5. They pick up the win. They snapped that skid. They were on a 2-game skid, and they needed to play more consistent basketball. They did. They needed a big game from someone other than Tyler Tanner. They got one, and they were just much more consistent, and they were clean. They played clean. The entire starting lineup was in double digits. I mean, just an all-around great night for Vanderbilt. They came out hot. They came out sharp. They stayed that way the entire night, despite Georgia fighting back. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Like I said, we're live, so your comments here. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Mike, it was an exciting game. It was back and forth. It was a little, I guess, I don't want to say sloppy because there wasn't a whole lot of turnovers. It took them a minute to it took both teams kind of a minute to heat up shooting wise, but when they did, it became really good.
It did. And, just looking at the scoring, when both teams were cold, Vandy was better. They were at their worst. Vandy was a step up. They won this game in the first 10, 15 minutes, and they were able to hold on the rest of the way because they got out to a lead, and Georgia stuck with them. They made it close. They played well the second half when both teams were shooting well. But when both teams were not at their best, Vandy was scrappy enough to be able to claw some points out where Georgia really couldn't early on.
Yeah, I mean, Catchings with 15, Blue Cane with 10, Jeremiah Wilkinson coming off the bench with 28 points for Georgia, but not much else. I mean, Millender had 2 points, Stagg had 3, Cyril had 9, not hardly anything from the bench either. So that was a big factor in Georgia's point totals and things like that for Vanderbilt. Just getting that production that you needed. I mean, this is what you needed here. I highlighted Jeremiah Wilkinson. He was Georgia's leading scorer. But Okereke, 13 points. Tyler Nickel with 10. He didn't get those until late. Was wondering if he was going to actually score in this one. I mean, he's been ice cold for the most part, but he's been decent in spurts. Devin McGlockton, double-double, 17 points, 10 boards. Washington with 10 points. Tyler Tanner with 17. And, man, just –
And not listed there, Duke Miles, 15 in only 21 minutes.
Yeah, he got in foul trouble, so he probably would have had more. Yeah. That was the only downside to Duke Miles. And it was just an all-around great game, getting him integrated back into the lineup, just figuring out ways to get him touches and things like that. I'm kind of waiting for them to go back to their original starting lineup where they had Miles, Tanner, and Nickel as the 1, 2, and 3, and then you had McGlockton, Washington, Okereke rotating through the forward positions. But again, either lineup is great with Miles coming off the bench or with Miles in the starting lineup and McGlockton or Washington or Okereke coming off the bench, depending on who you want to start. But overall, really, really nice night.
Yeah. And one thing it seems like with Okereke is that he's very well-rounded. He's one of your better guys at most things. He might not be the best at anything, but he's pretty solid in all facets of the game.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He's really good handling the ball. Driving from the top of the key. He's actually 38%. I think I heard a stat. I think it was 38% from 3, something like that. It was. I heard it. And I was like, wait a second. Did I hear that right? And Yeah, he's a pretty good shooter. He's a good scorer.
He is 38. Yes, that is right.
Yeah, he's okay. Thanks for confirming that. But yeah, I've been impressed with Akiri K. He for a big man, he's got some great handles.
Yes. Yeah, no, he impressed me tonight. And admittedly, I'm not watching as much Vandy basketball as you are, but try to catch a little bit of every team in the conference and get eyes on them. But in my exposure, he's looked good.
Yeah, he's
Tanner. You mentioned Tanner. He seems like he's always
Tanner's the main guy. Tanner is the you know what you're going to get with Tanner unless it was in the Tennessee game. Tanner was sick and he still had 16 points. So like what you're going to get with Tanner night in and night out. Vanderbilt really just depends on, are they going to beat you in the paint? Are they going to beat you with Okirike driving or McGlockton driving and shooting? Or are they going to beat you with nickel shooting threes? It's just kind of like pick your poison for Vanderbilt. And sometimes it just depends on, is nickel cold or is the front court have the hot hand? It's like kind of like, okay, Tanner's going to get his 20 points, but who else is going to have the hot hand?
I was going to ask you, because I don't follow the basketball portal as much. Did Nickel portal over with the head coach, or was he okay? Because I saw he's from Harrisonburg. It made sense that he was at JMU before.
Yeah, he came over. He was actually at UNC before that too. But
okay.
Yeah, he came with Byington in Byington's first year, and then that was because I think the entire roster, Stackhouse's entire roster, except for one left.
Yeah,
which is crazy, but.
Because I remember Minnesota had an opening, around that time too, and they there was a point where they had nobody on the roster, like in January, February. Yeah.
I think Vanderbilt was in a similar situation. So yeah, I'm all for it there. I'm a big fan of what Mark Byington has brought to the table. His style of play has been great so far, and just the way he kind of what he's developed here. And he had to be resourceful in his first year, and it's kind of carried over, is winning in different ways. And I think that's going to help you in the tournament. Now, against St. Mary's in last year's NCAA tournament, they just had nothing inside in the paint. So St. Mary's just kind of wore him down and was able to overtake that game. But now they have some presence in the paint, and they can run, and they're more athletic. Because in the first half of that St. Mary's game in last year's tournament, Vanderbilt was running up and down the court on them, and they couldn't. And St. Mary's had a hard time keeping up. But then they bogged the game down, and they were able to win. Yeah. Teams can't do that against Vanderbilt this year, and that was their Achilles heel last year, and they fixed that. And now they can shoot, they can drive, and they have a little bit of inside paint presence, which they hadn't had that always this year either. So that's been something that's developed as the year went on, because they ran into some mismatches and had to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? Because we're going to be outmatched in the front court most of the games we play in conference. They've had to figure that out.
If I remember correctly, that was a battle of a game, wasn't it? Against, that 1-2 possession game, wasn't it?
Against St. Mary's?
Yes.
It was for a while, and then I think they pulled away, if I remember correctly. Yeah. It was close. It was tight the whole way. Vanderbilt built a pretty good lead in the first half.
Okay.
And you felt good. You're like, okay, they're gonna move to the second round. Here we go. Like, this is gonna, this team got hot at the right at the right time. They're gonna do well. Here we go. And then it just kind of fell apart on them.
Probably a rarity, two teams from the same city making the tournament, because Lipscomb made it too.
Yeah. I think. Did Belmont make it also? I don't think they did.
I don't think so.
I want to say there was one year where Vandy, Belmont, and Lipscomb all made.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. All made the tournament. So that's wild. But yeah, they're projected. Joe Lunardi is projecting them as a 5 seed at this moment.
Okay.
And I think, according to Lunardi, they had 3 SEC teams as 5 seeds. which is crazy.
That is interesting. Yeah.
I'm like, dang. It's crazy. Yeah. It's one of those things where you just look at it and you're just like, whoa, you shake your head. It's like, oh gosh, okay, here we go.
What region, did he have him going to? I guess none of them are super close to Nashville anyway this year. But
yeah, I'm not going to pull up the article, but
yeah.
I can't remember which. I
know the regions this year: Houston, San Jose, Chicago, and Washington D.C.
I think it was Houston. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure
that's the South. I know that. Yeah,
I was pretty sure it was Houston. So either way, it doesn't really matter for them. But we're live. Your comments. We're going to continue breaking this thing down here next. Stick around.
I'm Kalia Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. South Carolina rolled past Ole Miss 85-48 to clinch a share of the SEC regular season title and lock down the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. The Gamecocks extended their win streak over Ole Miss to 21 straight. UCLA dominated Wisconsin 80-60 to secure its first outright Big Ten regular season championship in program history. The Bruins improved to 27-1 overall and remain unbeaten in conference play. And number 12 TCU stormed back from a 13-point fourth quarter deficit to beat Iowa State 80-73. The Horned Frogs now sit alone atop the Big 12 standings and are 1 win away from clinching another regular season conference crown. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
All right. Also, Mike, have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals live and in person?
I would love to go if the Timberwolves made it so I could watch them and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I would too. The Timberwolves are my brand new team. I've broken up with the Atlanta Hawks. They failed me. They didn't allow me to go to the NBA Finals, and they're not going to go this year with this awesome FanDuel promotion. So I'm off of that train for now. Maybe Nashville, unless Nashville gets an NBA team, I'm going to stick with Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, unless he leaves the Timberwolves. So. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future and you'll automatically be entered to win for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. What's Minneapolis like in the summer?
Awesome in the summer. Weather's nice. The right in downtown there, like near the stadium. It's not too far from the Viking Stadium. So it's there's nice places around there. Yeah. So it's fun eats, drinks, sports bars. Parking's not great, but that's probably any big city stadium.
Yeah, there you go. Well, here's what you need to do. You need to look at the futures. You need to lock one in. I love futures, man, especially this time of year because you can jump on a team for a championship run or a conference title run, and it just makes games more exciting. And what's great about this promotion is if you make that pick, not only can you win some cash, but it could also send you to the finals. I don't know if it'll be Oklahoma City, Minnesota, Detroit, wherever, but visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future to get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Also, tax season is here and it does not have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish without the stress or the guesswork. So instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person, or you can connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms, and they work to get you every deduction. You can upload your documents, go about your day, and get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver. It gives you real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it, all that good stuff. And for a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. All right, 88-80. Vandy takes down UGA. We are live here for just a few more minutes. If you were at the game, let me know what the atmosphere was like. And one of the things I want to address, and this is odd to me. This has been in my keys to victory for quite some time. Adam Perry brought it up as well. I guess me and Adam are on the same page here, but he says, I can't figure out what's happened to Nickel and his consistency. It seemed like he used to be a double-digit scorer every game for the first part of the season. And, Mike, to me, it seems like he's pressing. He's just trying to hit the big shot, and he's just trying too hard to score. And I know that seems kind of odd to say or a little bit silly, but
I don't know that it's – I think that's a normal thing. It's if you're – setting those expectations for yourself, you're going to do whatever you can to meet that, even if it takes you out of your game. But also to what that guy said, the first part of the season is not conference play. You're playing some good non-con opponents, but by and large, your schedule's not going to be as tough. So it could just be a result of playing better defenders too.
Yeah, that too. I mean, he's I don't think he's getting himself as open either. Sometimes some of the looks that he has at the basket are well contested, or he's doing a lot more driving now, which tells me that him setting up for three is not quite.
And Vandy also started really hot. Maybe we should have expected some regression to the mean to some extent, because they did start well.
Well, hopefully sometime before the tournament he gets on fire a little bit. So, I mean, 10 points is not terrible, but it took him a while to score the 10 points. So that's the concerning part. It's just
good when you have six guys do it.
Yeah, but it takes your best shooter pretty much 3/4 of the game, all of 3/4 of a game, to get into that groove.
It's 1 for 8 from three.
Yeah, I mean that's just you can't.
Half of his points were free throws tonight.
Yeah, it's hard to win consistently when you have a guy you're relying on like that to be able to shoot. But if we're talking about that in an 8-point win, I guess they're in good shape. Other people are picking them up, so it looks like the team is giving him a chance to figure it out and not cost too much. But of course, it's just again at some point he's going to regain it. He's going to find his stroke, and it's going to be outstanding. But 88-80 is your final. Again, all 5 starters in double digits. McGlockton with the double-double, and you had Tyler Tanner as your co-leading scorer as far as points go. He was 8 of 9 from the free throw line. Not great three-point shooting, 27%. If you told me Vanderbilt would shoot 49% from the field, 27% from three, and the other team was 46 and 42%, respectively, from the field and from three, I would have told you that score would be flipped.
Yep.
I would say, man, we're talking about a Vanderbilt 8-point loss, disappointing, yada yada yada. But we're not. We're talking about Vandy playing extremely well, and they played really well down the stretch. They were able to make it. And the thing I said, and I'll leave it here because we're going to wrap up here in just a second. But one of the things I said in my keys to victory is against Georgia, they score 90 points per game, and for Georgia, you have to slow them down. They're going to get their points, but you got to just make it tough on them so that you have a chance to get some momentum, get a run. Vanderbilt did just that, especially at the start of the game to build that pad, and then they were just able to go back and forth with them and keep that positive momentum. And Georgia could never really get off the hump there. So that's good. That's a big key. Now, Adam, we'll leave you with this question here. What seed do you think Vanderbilt will be in the SEC tournament? Probably 5 or 6 seed, I would guess. It's a log jam.
It is.
It's a log jam. The standings are a log jam. So let's see.
I mean, A&M, Mizzou, Kentucky, Vandy are all basically in the same boat right now. So
need some help with that. So let's see. That win against Tennessee would have put them in good shape. But
the
Missouri,
Kentucky game next is massive for the conference tournament seeding.
Yeah, but you have to think Florida 1 seed, Bama 2 seed, Arkansas 3, 4. Yeah, so anywhere from 5 to 7, I would guess, for Vandy. Beating Tennessee at Thompson Bowling will be a huge thing as well. So, and they're projected to be a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament too. If they can win out, they could increase that to maybe a 4 seed. I think their ceiling is about a 4 seed in the NCAA too. So that's kind of where I see it. But Mike, any final thoughts on this game?
Good win. I mean, that's about all you can say. Good senior night win, one where, we said before, you started off definitely the better team in the first 10, 12 minutes and were able to hold on and weather the storm at the end.
Yeah,
same. You're gonna have tough games. Yeah,
same. It was a game you needed badly.
Yeah,
especially for senior night. It was a game you needed badly because Tanner needed to kind of get regenerated. You needed Duke Miles to play a big part of that game, and unfortunately, he got in foul trouble, so that affected his minutes. But he had a really nice impact there. Chandler being fouled out of the game. He was in the game long enough to foul out. Not much as far as point production, but he's still.
I mean, like you said, you need to stop the bleeding because you lose tonight. That's 3 in a row. Then with Kentucky, Tennessee coming up, you're probably 7, 8, 9 seed in the conference tournament instead of now looking at maybe getting up to 5 or 6.
Yeah, and it just makes that road a lot tougher. So, 88-80 is your final great win for Mark Byington and company. Much needed, like I said, something that they needed to close out the Memorial Gym season with on senior night, and just impressive all around. If they can play with that consistency, they'll be held down the stretch. So for Mike Huseman, I'm Corey Burton. Make sure you tune in. We're going to talk about Jalen Davies committing from Oklahoma State out of the portal, a late portal edition, one that I didn't expect. I don't know if any of y'all expected it, but he's going to be fighting the NCAA a little bit. So we'll talk about that, as well as recruiting stuff, football, spring storylines, continue on with basketball, big game against Kentucky this weekend, baseball, big series out in Las Vegas in that Las Vegas Classic with Irvine, Oregon, and Arizona. So we'll talk that and more as we roll on, as this train continues to roll on down the tracks. This is Locked On Vandy, at Locked On Vandy on all social media platforms. Make sure you join the Everydayers Club while you're at it. And until next time, have a great evening. Anchor down. Peace.